Train the cue leave it without intimidation. Step 1. No mugging. No mugging was shown in another video. Please see the video description for the link. Teaching leave it using the clicker training method. Not only is this method the most effective, but it also builds a dog's desire to interact with his owner over distractions. Place the food on the floor and let the dog try to get the food. Click and treat the dog for turning back towards you. Click and treat the dog for looking at you instead of the food, or whatever you are using as a distraction.
Good girl, you are so clever. You're so clever.
Sophie is choosing to be with me over the food. She is learning to trust me, and it is strengthening our relationship through this process.
Very good.
She is happy and willing to leave the food. This exercise can be used with food, toys, bushes, or anything the dog might find rewarding. In this exercise, you are letting the dog make the choice on his own. He is learning that if he does not do the unacceptable behavior of getting the treat off the ground, he will get what he wants. He will learn to want to be with you, the handler, instead. If you say no or then the dog will still really want the food. Just because you tell him no doesn't mean that he does not want it anymore. He just does not want you harassing him, or he might be worried that you, his owner, will become intimidating, so he will comply. Personally, I would rather have a dog that wants and chooses to do the right behavior instead of doing it because I nagged him. A dog that is taught to leave it with intimidation or force will show signs of stress, lip licking, yawning, avoidance, or looking away from the handler, stiffness, and pin his ears back. He will use these calming signals to calm his owner down. With this clicker training method, the dog is truly happy, confident, and choosing his owner over the food, toys, or distractions. With verbal punishment or physical punishment, the dog is forced into leaving it. Do not add the verbal cue of leave it, not until you are 90% sure the dog will actually leave it.
Very good. Yay, good job.
Proof the leave it cue in different locations around different distractions. Never let the dog get it unless you have given the dog a cue to get it. Take your time. Start this exercise with your dog on leash, or be prepared to get to the food or distraction first to remove it or cover it before the dog is able to get it.
I got too brave. You did.
Add the leave it cue once the dog is reliably leaving the distraction alone. I would recommend that you do not use the cue during the first leave it training session, because if you say leave it and he does not leave it, you will probably say leave it over and over until eventually the dog learns that when you talk it does not really mean anything. You want the dog to listen to you. Make sure you only say the cue one time. I am starting to add the leave it cue.
Good girl. Excellent.
If you have already trained leave it using punishment, intimidation, or force, which in my opinion they are all forms of punishment, you have a poisoned cue and your dog has a negative association with the current leave it cue. You should retrain the leave it cue using the clicker training method. However, make sure that you also change the verbal cue. This way the dog will associate the new cue with a positive experience. You can use off or away instead. Please read the video description for more information on training a leave it cue without intimidation. For more free videos, subscribe. For dog training products, visit www.pamsdogtraining.com.